Science fiction has often been a vehicle used to explore social issues, so it should come as no surprise that the genre has quite a number of life-affirming entries. Here is our list of sci-fi films with life-affirming messages. Before we get started, we want to mention that many of these films are intended for mature audiences, so watch with discretion. However, it is important to see how the pro-life message is embedded in popular media. Number 1, Arrival. When alien spacecraft arrives suddenly and mysteriously on Earth, expert linguist Louise Banks is tasked with figuring out how to communicate with the extraterrestrials. As she learns the language of the aliens, her sense of time and space begins to unravel. At the heart of the film is the story of a family's battle with a terminal illness that reminds us that every life is worth living.
Despite knowing the journey and where it leads, I embrace it, and I welcome every moment of it.
Number 2, Gattaca. In a dystopian future, children are conceived through a process of genetic selection where only parents with suitable genes and social profiles are permitted to reproduce. Love child Vincent Freeman, who is born illegally, dreams of becoming an astronaut, but must battle societal prejudices and overcome a corrupt system in order to realize his dream. Gattaca delivers a piercing examination of the consequences of regulating which people are fit to live.
I'll never understand what possessed my mother to put her faith in God's hands rather than those of her local geneticist. 10 fingers, 10 toes, that's all that used to matter. Not now.
Number 3, A Quiet Place. In this world, the rules are simple. Be very quiet if you want to stay alive. The film follows a solitary family as they struggle to survive deadly monsters that hunt using their hypersensitive hearing. When a single mistake costs them the life of their youngest child, the situation seems hopeless. But instead of giving in to despair, they become even more determined to survive. In a world that seems impossibly hostile to children, they choose to have another child. It is a primal story that asks a simple question. How far will you go to protect your children?
Who are we if we can't protect them? We have to protect them.
Number 4, Snowpiercer. When attempts to counteract climate change backfire and throw the Earth into a devastating ice age, humanity is forced to live on a high-tech train capable of traveling through any climate. The limited space and resources aboard the train are a source of constant conflict.
The population must always be kept in balance.
This closed-space thriller uses its brilliant concept to definitively show that any society that places the value of one life over another is destined to crumble. Before we get to our final film, we wanted to make a few honorable mentions. Star Trek. To be specific, we're talking about the 2009 reboot starring Chris Pine. This film gets an honorable mention for its heart-wrenching opening, in which a father makes the ultimate sacrifice for his preborn child and the lives of his crew. This scene is guaranteed to bring tears to your eyes, and the rest of the film is pretty great too. The Giver. The 2014 adaptation of the classic novel brought this quintessential pro-life story to the silver screen. While critics rushed to pan the film, audiences were divided. However, in spite of its mixed reception, the heart of the source material is not lost in translation, and the story remains a poignant depiction of the evil of abortion.
He killed him.
The young and the old are killed.
Number 5, Children of Men. What might the world look like if humans were suddenly no longer able to reproduce? This is the scenario we're confronted with in this dystopian thriller set in the not-so-distant future, where not a single child has been born on Earth for the last 18 years. Faced with the imminent threat of extinction, society has fallen into chaos. In this barbaric landscape, divorced couple Theo Farron and Julian Taylor join forces to escort a miraculously pregnant woman to safety. This film about faith and family reveals the truth, that all life is sacred and that children truly are a miracle that must be cherished and protected, especially before they're born. These are some of the films that we recommend, but we're sure there are many more. What are some of your favorites? Which ones did we miss? Leave your recommendations in the comments.